Hey there, welcome to the Weeb Lounge. I am Nick, and this is Princess Connect Redive. It is finally coming to the West. We're finally getting an English version. We can finally read along the storylines without having to do a whole bunch of translations. And some of you might be wondering what to expect, and I'm here to tell you. One of the first things that people ask about is typically about the gacha system and the premium currency. The premium currency in this game are called jewels. Jewels are actually fairly abundant in this game. You're going to find that this game, compared to many other gacha games, this one is far more generous with its jewels. Whether it be just special events, whether it be just handing them out because a Twitter goal was reached, whether they just kind of throw them at you and you have no idea where the heck they're coming from, but you're getting them and you're happy about it. That's fine. So compared to other games, especially like Fate Grand Order, and I'm going to bring up Fate Grand Order quite often as a base comparison because of the popularity of it, this game just hands out premium currency seemingly left and right. For example, I never go into these games really as free to play, but for months on end, I have played for free, with the exception of a little pack that I'll go into later. So in terms of getting the premium currency, they're fairly generous, and you can easily play this game free to play and still get an awful lot of the high-end characters and enjoy the game that much more. They're not stingy about it, and that's what we like about side games. Now, the gacha system itself. Now, in a lot of gacha games, there's relatively low rates. Gacha games got you money. That's the whole point. I've gone over that many times in other videos and such. But in Princess Connect, it doesn't seem like they're terribly worried about people getting new characters. If you get them, great. They want people to get new characters. Now, Fate Grand Order, for example, if you want that top tier 5-star character, it's a 1% chance per pull, per single. In Princess Connect Redive, it is 2.5% chance, so 2.5 times a chance. But here's the thing. Every once in a while, they have this pre-fest gacha where that rate goes to 5% to get a 3-star character. Now, in Princess Connect, a 3-star character is your equivalent of your triple S super best character you can get, and you can raise their star levels later, but I'll go into that probably in another video. This is for what to expect in some of the basics. But in all reality, they are actually pretty generous when it comes to getting characters, especially some of the most sought-after ones. For example, Muimi or Chris, or pretty much any character in the Prefest gacha are almost must-haves. And they put that percent at 5%, which means you're going to get some, and you're going to get some fairly often. Now, free-to-play or pay-to-play, which one do you want to do? But while this game is free-to-play friendly, I have to say it's free-to-play friendly. You don't have to spend a dime on this, and you can play it and enjoy it and still get a lot of things that in other games you would think, you got to pay money for those extra chances. In this game, not so much. They're like I said, they're more generous with those jewels. However, you're doing yourself a little bit of a disservice. Now, this right here is the little purchasing screen and everything. Of course, this is the Japanese version, but of course, we're expecting the US version to be the exact same template. It'd be kind of silly to change it otherwise. You'll notice this little pack right here on the top left. Now, these little canisters, that's kind of symbolizes their stamina, their attack points, how many things you can do in a game. And what this does, for $4.25 over the course of 7 days, gives you 500 extra stamina every single day. Now, if you're one of those players who wants to get in, go, and go hard, this is the best pack to get. And, I can play this game casual, no problem. And there's other sources to get stamina other than just sitting there and waiting and waiting and waiting. But this thing gives you such a huge advantage and lets you experience so much more of the game and build your characters up so much faster. I have to say that even if you're a free-to-play player, I would suggest bending your rules just a tad little bit to go for this, because this is going to prove to be really, really useful. There's very hard modes. There's a whole bunch of other different things to go over that are just, that stamina is going to be very, very useful. Now, what about combat? Well, let's load up just some simple hard mode or something around here. Let's go back a little so I don't look like an idiot in case it fails. Let's just pick this one at random. All right. Now, right here, they have a skip ticket system, okay? If you have a skip ticket and you have already got 3 stars on it, because you can get 1, 2, or 3 stars depending how well you do. If you get a 3-star, you can do skip tickets and just instantly complete the quest. Don't have to worry about it. Let's go into combat here. Now, I kind of have a little pre-made group and everything. We'll put it in there. And I'm going to turn the speed down. If I can. Oh. All right, there we go. Now, you're going to notice I have it on auto, and everybody's just kind of sort of doing their thing, right? Well, in this game, I guess you could say it's an auto combat game. You know, there's no cards to play, there's no positioning, there's nothing like that. It's really simple, straight and forward. But then why is there an auto button? Well, the auto button is there because the one thing that you have full control over, if you want, is when to do their ultimates, which is that blue bar on the bottom. So if you take it off auto, you do all these like labbies here that just went off, and you can kind of time them as according to what you want to do. Now, in some fights, it's pretty favorable to go ahead and do that manually, so you can time every little thing, but if you gear up and compose your characters properly, using auto ain't much of an issue. Now, my characters, in all reality, are probably a little overpowered for this here. They're going to just trash right through it. I ain't going to worry about this one. But the most important thing about combat is your group makeup. There's magic damage, there's physical damage. There's no other real elements or whatever. It's just either physical or magical. It's nothing terribly confusing. In fact, this is probably super simple until you start trying to min-max things. So, like for instance here, Pecorine up front is Princess Pecorine version, which I don't think is going to be available in the US version right off the bat. She acts as my tank with a little bit of DPS. Hiyori here, 6-star, Rei here, 6-star, they're both DPS. Hiyori's pure DPS, Rei puts a defense down debuff on all the characters. Kokoro here grows out an AoE heal, so she's my healer, and also a little bit of a defense buff, whereas Labby back here, she is offensive support. She increases the critical damage and critical strike of all the other physical melee characters. So basically what I have composed here is a pure high-end physical damage group. And depending on how you configure your group when you're going through this, like for instance, if I took Labby out and I put somebody else with a speed buff in, well, they're not going to crit as much, their crit damage ain't going to do as much, but they'll attack a little bit faster. Is that good or is that bad? If I took Rei out, which is our middle character, she won't put the defense down debuff on, so now my attacks are not going to do quite as much damage because their defense hasn't been reduced. If I replace Pecorine here with some other just random DPS character, well, they don't have the hit points. They can't tank, so they might drop. So that's what I actually really like about this game, in terms of like elements and everything that so many other games deal with. You have two, magic, physical. And everybody is vulnerable to something else more or less, but it's all about your group composition. Now, of course, there's leveling up the characters, ranking up, all that stuff, but in this game, composition is key. You need to have the right characters with the right tools in order to do the fight right. Simplistic, but at the same time, if you want to make it complicated and you want to min-max, it can go that route. So what else to expect out of this? Well, you're going to have your main storyline, which is what I just went into. You're going to have normal, hard, and very hard. I don't think the 6 stars come out right off the bat. Yes, characters, when you roll for them, your starter characters are going to be 1 star. Okay, you can get roll for 2 stars, you can roll for 3 stars, but they go up to 6. Now, every single character there is can go up to 5 stars, and many of them have a weapon that you can actually, a specialized weapon for just that character that adds, increases, or causes different abilities. On a few rare cases, a few characters get a 6th star, which makes them really powerful. I can't stress that enough. Here's one example. Pecorine, the 1-star version that you get right off the bat, she is not that great of a character. Actually, she's kind of horrid, to be perfectly honest. She doesn't do much damage at all. She does her tank job fairly well, but other than that, she's just kind of there, you know, eating rice cakes. That's what she does. She eats everything. So but she's not all that good of a character. She's not that super of a tank. You're going to find like her and Kokoro and Carol, like the three main characters from Princess Connect. You're not actually going to use them that much outside of the very beginning. Once you start getting other characters, they'll get replaced and go away. But once you hit 6 stars with these characters, it's a whole different meaning. It turns Pecorin into this just damn near invulnerable super tank. It turns Kokoro here into, instead of just giving a slight little buff or slight little advantage support character, into just healing everybody and putting out massive buffs. And then Carol goes from doing just like a little bit of AoE damage, just like boop, yay, into just igniting the whole freaking planet to death in a void, okay? That's how important the 6 stars on these characters are. And I can't stress enough, when the 6-star feature comes out in the US version, my God, make sure you're working on it, because 6 stars is deadly. All right. Now, you also have your, they call these aren't dungeons, they're like labyrinths or something, whatever. These are your daily free things. You know, your level up potions and mana, which is your generic currency for doing just about everything. This is your dungeon. It's kind of like a trial thing. It's like you go up certain steps, kill a boss at the end. Go up certain steps, kill a boss at the end. Important to do that because you get a nice little item at the end. I'll go over that in another video. These guys right here, these come in handy for creating those specialized weapons and getting your 6-star character, which those big old orbs do. This is clan battle. Princess Connect has clan battles. Clan battles are awesome. And I just forgot to claim my rewards. I just got 500 jewels and 500 of those and 5 memory fragments. Oops. Okay. Well, basically a clan battle is there's a set of 5 bosses. You fight, you kill them all, it resets, they get a little harder. You fight them all, kill it, resets, get a little harder. The further you progress, the more rewards you get. And apparently I already got those rewards because they're not showing up in my thing. Yeah, I already got them. It was just a picture saying, hey, look what you earned. Got me excited over nothing. Damn you, Pecorin. Okay. Guild House. In this game, you have a little house. It's got 3 different floors. The higher player rank you get, the more floors you get. And you can gear it out and have your characters wander around in bathing suits and get a tan in the house somehow. I'm not sure how that works. Probably tanning bed or something. But you see this right here, this big old chain of green bottle looking stuff, that's stamina. All these things are producing stamina for me over time. So not only am I getting that natural regen, these things are producing stamina for me. And I can just click that, collect all the things, and bam, I got a whole bunch more stamina to use. It won't let you go past 1,000 unused stamina. It will go over your base, but yeah, I've gotten a lot, many times. All right, so what else is, well, you got your stories. This is your visual novel type stuff, okay? And since it's going to be coming out into a language that I can read, I mean, I know my Japanese a little bit, but not enough to follow along with a visual novel. So, but this is going to be nice. I'm going to actually be able to follow the storyline now to a T. Now, down here you have your arena. Like a lot of gacha games, of course, have some kind of PvP arena. You have a 1v1 with 1 team versus 1 team, and you have a 3v3, 3 teams versus 3 teams. You got your event quests, which are usually right here. You have side quests, which I don't think the US version is going to get for a good while, because the side quests are essentially old events rehashed and put up for people who didn't get to do them in the past. So that's pretty much what to expect from this game. Okay, so the jewels they're going to be generous with their jewels. All right, it's one of the few gacha games out there where it's like, you know, they're not worried about handing you just like a ton of jewels or whatever. Hey, here's 2 free 10 pulls. Have at it. You know, the side games has been pretty damn generous with this, and you know, I got almost 10,000 jewels. It's 1,500 for a 10 pull, and I didn't pay for any. Well, I paid for 42 of them. No. 1,090 are paid for. So which means I made a purchase a long time ago that I still have the gems for. That's good. So they're actually very generous when it comes to these. And they do a couple of different types of gachas that I'll go in some other video, but it's really nice, especially the pre-fest gacha where instead of the 2.5% chance to get that 3-star, it goes to 5%. It's generous. I can't say it. Free to play versus pay to play. like I said, you can do free to play if you want. You can spend your money however you want. Free to play is actually really fun. You'll get plenty of stuff to. Sometimes free to play, you can actually feel like a whale. Honestly, I haven't spent money on this game in months, and I've gotten every character I have gone for. So yeah, I'm cool. But I do suggest the weekly stamina refresh thing. Even if you're free to play, it gives you such a big advantage, and it's such a small cost. It is worth it. So you can go around, say you're free to play, and just don't mention that you spent the $4 a week. Just don't say it, tell anybody, and it'll be fine. We'll overlook this. And combat, very simple. It's all about putting together a proper group. Like basically tank, DPS, healer, support. That's how a majority of the groups are going to form. There's an enormous amount of different number of types of fights, and the events are different, and different group mechanics are needed, and oh my god, it's just so much. And as far as the gear and everything, I'll go over that in another video, but essentially that's the basics that you go by. And one last thing that I'm going to mention is the quality of this game. It's top tier quality, hands down top tier quality. If you've seen the Princess Connect anime, then you're going to realize that, wait a minute, that animation is the same that's in this game, and the game was out before the anime. Oh, and there's an awful lot of full animated sequences in this, you know, be it storylines, events, what have you. They're all high quality animations. They don't skimp on this. And I actually think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think Cygames in-house did the animation for the actual anime series. And if, from what I think holds true, that just goes to tell you how good the quality is of this game is. It's high quality, it's high fun, it's generous with the gachas, the combat is simple, or it can be difficult if you make it difficult, and free to play is just fine, pay to play, just as good. Oh, man, I went over quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to the US release. I'm probably going to stick on JP because I put so much time and effort onto this, but USA version is going to be holding true, so I'm going to be putting up more character videos. I'm going to be putting up a whole bunch of stuff. I am excited for it to hit the States because hopefully this game gets more attention that it has been. It is extremely popular in Japan. And by the time it comes out in the US, there's going to be about 4 years of content sitting there ready to go. So you guys are going to have a lot to do when it comes out in the West, worldwide release or whatever. So with that, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button. I am very much looking forward to it because I love this game, and I've always wanted to make more content for it, and now that gives me a really good reason to push forward and do individual character reviews, more strategies, all that good stuff. Stay tuned because I'm going to have a lot of advice from a veteran player coming right at you. We'll see you in the next video.